almost called you Jordan, which is your son's name. Simon Hitchcock.
Yes.
Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for making time. Thanks for being here.
That's okay, Sam.
Are you working today?
I am.
Good. So you're going from here straight to work?
Yeah, just to Eleanor and then back to Mudgeeraba.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you.
That's okay.
Oh, yeah. We can laugh, cry, crack jokes, do whatever.
Yep.
But we just have to hear about Jesus in your life and then have some fun. Marshall's not here, so we do whatever we want. No, kind of. But yeah, actually, this is my first podcast without him. So I was a little bit like, oh, he's my comfort zone normally here. But he's also my boundaries. So the boundaries are gone. Let's have some fun. We were talking about your son-in-laws, your son-in-law, and about them living close to Macca's. I was going to say something about driving. Having your parents to teach you driving is like, or it's either traumatic or it's the key to you learning how to drive. So it's pretty...
Yeah, well, so Shanae and Jordan, there were a couple of early on where I just flipped out because they nearly had an accident. And like one was coming off a highway at speed onto the on-ramp and they just Jordan didn't slow down. That was pretty full on.
Or coming off the highway.
Yeah. So I slow down. And then he comes around and I'm like, go on, slow down. So I was flipping out, man.
But that's a scary thing because some of them, like the one down at Reedy Creek here, it goes into a hairpin.
Oh, just here. Yeah.
Oh, no, this one now as well. But you're down to 60 here. There's another one northbound before Kings. They might have changed it with the roadworks. Okay. But you go from 100 and the off-ramp's kind of long, but there's no warning. You know, it's like, oh, slow down to 60, slow down. But no one really watches that. And then it just goes bang into that roundabout.
Yeah.
For a new driver, you're not prepared for that.
No, and then, Shanae, I can't remember. I think it was a hill. We're on a hill. And she was like, oh, man, that was... Yeah, so she ended up getting out of the car and I ended up swapping over and then I wasn't allowed to drive with them for a while.
Did she get stuck there for a while?
Oh, yeah, I probably had her in tears. But Noah's really observant, asks questions all the time, just for the last couple of years. And so he wants to know, but yeah.
That's the youngest for you, eh? He's the youngest?
Yeah, Noah is, yeah. So he's he had the trailer on the weekend, had him reversing into the tip to get rid of the green waste. And
oh my gosh, is he on his L's or P's?
L's, yeah.
And he's reversing a trailer.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
The trailer's easy if you know how. It's practice too.
If you know how. Cool. For people that don't know you, married, 3 kids.
Yep.
Oldest is
Jordan.
Oh, Geordie is the oldest, that's right. Middle.
Shanae.
And then youngest, Noah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Shanae's married, Declan. Malachi's their son. So that's good fun. He's 5 months old yesterday, so that was good.
Oh, wow. So you've been a grandfather for 5 months.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Yeah. Oh, well, it was pretty cool. Oh, well, it was so funny when she told us. Bron was flipping out. It was hilarious.
Like flipping out excited?
No, she was flipping out like, what the heck? Flipping out.
I'm not ready for this.
No, she's like, what?
You don't look old enough to be a grandfather though.
Oh, thanks.
How old are you?
How old am I? Mid-40s.
Mid-30s. That's good.
No, I'm old enough for sure. Yeah. So.
Well, and you're a Sparky, jack of all.
Yeah, bit of a jack.
Bit of a jack.
Bit of an ass. So yeah, we do a bit of maintenance, the garden stuff. What else am I doing? Yeah, I've got a chainsaw, so that's good fun.
Oh, a chainsaw would have been pretty busy after these storms.
Oh, well, I didn't. We got hit by that tornado. So all my stuff. Yeah, so all my stuff underneath the back deck got wet. So I was just like, I'm not using it until I've had it serviced. And so, had to buy another chainsaw because, it didn't work. So it's getting fixed still. I still haven't got it back.
What's wrong with it?
It needs a throttle or something.
Okay.
So, Yeah.
But the new one's working purr and fine.
She's a big one. So.
Yeah, nice. Cool.
Yeah, so a bit of a sort of handyman, think outside the box type of thing. Always tried to do that. Especially working for yourself, you've got to work out, okay, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And so you're always even coming into like just it's like, you know, painters come in and check out. Oh yeah, like, oh gee, they did a horrible job painting there. When I'm walking through houses or whatever, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I would have done it like this, or which is a bit of a pain sometimes. It's hard to turn that stuff off.
So a question then.
Yeah.
When you're doing sparky work on a house, just going in to install maybe a new switch or a new power point, move one or the other.
Yeah.
Do you just punch a hole, put the new one in and leave the hole for someone else? Or do you patch the hole?
So this job in Mudgeeraba I have to go and do, they want to pull out 2 downlights and then put this other light fitting in. So yeah, I got plaster in the back of the car, so I'm patching the holes. I'm doing the whole thing because like people can't get someone, or they'll be waiting, and I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll bring it and fix it. And so, yeah, when people sort of find out that, it's good. But yeah, because we've moved from Victoria up. Yeah, over 12 months ago, it's a struggle to get, like, because I've already started a business before. I know how long takes to get that regular customers, and it's a lot of talking and it's a lot of building trust, which is a bit of a pain because I had that trust in Victoria. I had a good client base, and then COVID and all that kind of rubbish, and then you're told you can't work because you won't get the jab. So yeah, that was pretty hectic.
As much as I'd love to actually talk about trades because that's funny and entertaining, but let's talk about Melbourne. So
we're in Ballarat. So it's about,
you were born and raised there, or
on a farm out just out of Ballarat,
like a sheep farm.
Yeah, sheep. So
farm.
dad and his uncle had like 7,000 head of sheep, and
7,000 sheep,
something like that at one stage, and then there was like 400 head of cattle between the two of them. So
how much space?
Oh, I can't remember how many.
That's
acres.
Thousands, eh?
I don't know. I
know
You're better off asking Dad. I've got no idea.
Get him on here. Where is he? Let's call him. Is he still around?
He's in Victoria, yeah.
Still farming?
No, so they got off the farm when I was like 15.
Geez, during COVID, I bet he wish he was on the farm.
Oh, yeah. No, he didn't mind. They didn't mind. They were in town, so they want to be in town, so that's fine. But I loved it, mate. My job was going around during lambing.
On the quaddie?
Yeah. Going around. Oh man, it was freaking cold some days.
Yeah, I bet Ballarat's freezing.
Yeah, so yeah, going around and checking on the lamb. The sheep are down. They're lambing, so she's stuck. The lamb's stuck, so you.
Whoa. I've born on the Gold Coast.
Okay,
I don't know anything about farming.
When sheep are lambing, so you've got a big paddock. Yep. You've got a big paddock, and like there's shelter. They like to go and lamb under like a tree in a bushed area. So you've got to get, like, it takes time to go around and work out. You can see the sheep down because they're white. It's a lot easier to see on the green grass. So you can see it. So you can spot them, and then you go down and see what's happening. And then most of the time, if they're down, they've fallen over, lost their balance. They might have been trying to have the lamb, and then they're on their side.
And they're stuck.
Yeah. So they're stuck. So you'd pull out the lamb as gentle as you could.
How long's the birth process generally?
Oh, mate, you're talking to the wrong person again.
Okay. Well, are they so is it just normal, like they stand up and give birth?
Yeah, they stand up and give birth, but sometimes they'll fall over.
And then they're stuck.
And then they're stuck and they can't. And then sometimes they'll be able to give birth and then they'll get themselves back up. But other times, if they've fallen over, especially if they're pregnant, all of their guts, everything goes to one side. So if you try and pick up a sheep that's been on its side for like a day, all of its intestines, all of its stomach shifts across to the right-hand side, for example, if they're laying on their right. So if you pick that lamb up, that sheep up,
It's going to be
and let it go, it's pretty funny to watch. but yeah, they try and take off because they don't want to be near you to start with, and so they take off and then they go like that. And then so what you got to do is, so you pull the lamb out, and then hopefully you got there early enough that you don't lose the lamb, and then you get her, flip her on the other side.
So you had to pull a few lambs out.
Yeah. Oh, it's probably a daily occurrence when they're lambing.
How big are they when they come out?
So the lambs are probably only like that big, but it's normally the head that would get stuck, and so you'd find that most of the lambs would be a normal size. They come out, but it's when the head was too big.
This is extremely fascinating to me.
Yes,
I'm just saying. So it's not. This isn't boring. This is extremely fascinating.
Mate, this is every day. Every day I'd go out. So Dad would do the morning. I'd come home from school and I'd go on the bike and do the afternoon run. So I'm saving Dad like probably 2 hours of work, but I loved it. Like, mate, there was just.
Who's the shepherd in the situation?
The shepherd in the situation is where you leave him in the paddock. So you don't need a shepherd because the fence is your boundary.
Okay. So these sheep don't know anyone's voice though. They're just chilling.
They're just wild.
Few cattle dogs?
We had a couple, but you don't want to take them out when you.
Not when you're lambing. They'll eat a lamb.
No, they won't.
They won't?
No. But there's a lot of training that goes into a sheepdog.
I love sheepdogs.
Dad never did it. We had a couple of just like in the yards, so they'd bark so that you could go and get them into the shed to shear them and stuff like that. That was the only reason we had them.
So, all right.
But so the sheep, you chuck them on the other side, leave them there for like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, and then all of their intestines and everything starts to centre.
This is hectic.
And then you'd pick them up, you'd try and hang on to them just to see how they're going, and you go, oh, no, crap, need to put her back down again. She's still wobbly.
Still on.
So you put her back down, leave her and wait a bit longer, and then you sit her back up, and then she gets up and runs away.
And at this time, like they're trying to get away from you sometimes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you're trying to, when they're on their side, they're down. They're out of it. So, it's like, it's sort of, okay, we're bringing God back into this because we're just talking about the story. Like, it's like if we're down and out, and God's getting us up, but he knows we're not right, so he chucks us back on the other side until we realign and then sits us back up again.
It's a really good analogy.
Well, I only had that when we were just talking about it. But, it's like, awesome. So if you're down, you need someone to help you get back up, but you're still not ready, so you need to go back. You need some recorrection. Because that's all it is. It's just realigning the intestines, the stomach, and everything into centre. Okay,
the good lead into. Were you raised a Christian?
Yeah, so Mum and Dad, we went to church and had some Uniting Church, and
the Uniting Church.
It was just a little one back then because it was like we're out in the sticks, but not really. Like we're probably half an hour from town because that's just what if you're on a farm, you're normally an hour or half an hour from.
Because Ballarat's got a little city, eh?
Yeah, little.
I've been there.
It's probably 100,000 now, but yeah.
I've been there doing the gold panning. We drove
Sovereign Hill. Yeah.
We drove to Melbourne when I was a kid, and we stopped at Ballarat to do the little town and it was pretty cool.
Sovereign Hill, yeah.
I don't remember a lot. But
the old church that I used to go to, the Grenville Uniting Church, is now at Sovereign Hill.
Oh.
Yeah, because the church, because, it's like only half an hour from town. It's sort of probably when I was in my, maybe 10 or so. But basically just the Uniting Church just disbanded that one because you'd have the lay minister go around and do his little community ones, and he was based at one in town. that church ended up at Sovereign Hill. So
the gold mine sounds like a church.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool to know. Cool. Yeah, so
raised in church, going to church.
Yeah, and then had a few influential people through the years. Went to another church in town, and then got my apprenticeship.
Was when you were at the Uniting Church, was it pretty like for lack of better words, like what I would call like religious, like singing hymns and not very Pentecostal, like not very.
Yeah, for sure.
So was that like appealing at all, or as a kid, or?
Oh, not really. I liked to sing, so that was good. Grandpa could sing, so that.
Do you like to sing?
Yeah. I don't sing too much, but
Panina, if you're listening.
No. Yeah.
So moved to another church in town.
Yeah. So when that sort of closed down, so we moved. Wasn't long after that we moved into town. Dad sold the farm because it wasn't viable, because it wasn't big enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it was just. Yeah, you need big farms to be profitable, and there's 4 kids, so
that would have been at the height of like quantity, for coin, or the
So Dad probably got out at a good time, and then he retrained, and I went not long after that. I went to my apprenticeship, and
which is in Ballarat.
Yeah, so I did electrical apprenticeship in
you 15?
Industrial
16. What did you finish?
17.
17.
Yeah, finished year 11.
Nice. Did so at that, were you going to like a youth group and stuff when you were a kid?
Yeah, so when we moved into town, one of my friends from school said, "Oh, we should go to this youth thing." I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll go." Because I wasn't scared of church or anything. So yeah, we ended up going to church, and then Mum and Dad ended up coming to that church too.
That's cool.
So it was one of the local ones. So it was good.
Did the youth group have a name?
I can't remember.
Man, I'd love to know.
It probably did. And then I remember when I was helping out like as a youth leader at church, we had a name back then. I can't remember what
Impact.
Some dodgy name that the leaders and the pastor came up with. Is pretty funny.
Gets used. Okay, so going to youth and then you get your apprenticeship. Was there any like real awareness of God or any encounter? Like when did it become like yours rather than just something that you do on a Sunday? Or are we still trying to figure that out?
Well, it's like because you got an awareness of stuff. It is hard to put a thing like a specific date on, but it's like you're going along and then you go, "Oh wow, I've really got no idea." Then you just go, "Oh yeah, that's another level," So it's awareness. There's been plenty of times that you go, "Oh yeah, God was there for this, God was there for that." The big thing,
that's the one.
The big thing was COVID.
Oh wow,
that was when your faith gets tested. Because Bron and I have been involved in church stuff and helping out and doing this and that, music, youth, or whatever, and then the COVID. That was your faith is really tested because it's like I wasn't going to get the jab, no way, and so little by little you were told. So basically you've gone from having a business and then saying you can't work, and then I had the staff at the time, so we couldn't work, and then you had a rule to say, okay, you could do these jobs. And then...
was that like you could do these jobs unjabbed, but you can't...
No. This was just at the start of COVID.
Yeah.
And then they said, so you can't do this, you can't go into here, you can't do this job, you can't go into a person's house. And they kept changing the rules all the time, and that just messes with your head at the best of times.
Man.
So that was all over the shop. That did my head in. And then it just kept changing. And then we were out the right and then back in. And then the second time it came in, probably hit us a bit harder.
What about like financially, that first part? We just getting strung out?
Yeah, well, that's just how it is.
Shucks.
So then there's so you've got all of the issues with your booking and jobs, and then you can't do it, and then customers weren't happy, and then the government was saying these jobs are non-essential. For example, a dishwasher was non-essential, so you'd have people ringing up people saying, "Oh, we can't come and fix your dishwasher, or we can't come and replace your dishwasher because it's non-essential," and you get abused, and so that is all. And yeah, so I can't remember who was on. I was on the phone to somebody there one day. And they said, "Oh, so what about this, and this?" And I just broke down. I just couldn't do it. And then they ended up ringing the warranty company and abusing me. And so that warranty person rang me straight away because they were like, "This isn't Simon," and said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "No, this is just what's happened," because I just basically broke down on the phone because you're just
man.
Because they were like, "I want you to go and fix my mum and dad's dishwasher," and I'm like, "I can't. I'm sorry." And then she kept on me, and then that's when so then she rang the warranty company and abused me onto them, and then they rang me, and it's like, so that was the kind of rubbish that you had to deal with. Most people are okay, and then it came to when they were wanting to mandate it, and Dan was our dictator, wanted to do whatever he wanted to do and
just take away the tater.
Yeah. So you're going from here, and then you start going to there, and then people are telling you to get jabbed, and you're like, no, because we had friends in the States. Ron's got plenty of connections here, there, and everywhere, and I was like, "Oh, so this is what's going on," and then you're like, "No, I'm not doing it. No way." And so I had mates that were like, no, not going to get it, not going to get it. And they all just fell off one by one. And then so that's when all of your friends and all of your customers that you thought were with you have all just basically turned on you, because then I couldn't work because I had to work with, you couldn't work, and people were ringing asking. I had one person ask me, so she was a nurse, and she said, "Are you jabbed?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Well, can you send one of the boys around?" This was after I'd put all the boys off because I couldn't work. Well, one left just before all this. I think he probably saw the writing on the wall that I wasn't going to get a jab and this was going to happen. And then the other young apprentice that I had, I just had to say to him, "Sorry, mate, I can't work. I can't supervise you." And so he found a job pretty much straight away because they were looking for people, so it's good for him. But, yeah, so she said, "Oh, can you send someone else around that isn't?" "It is." And I said, "Well, I haven't got any staff now." And she goes, "Just go and get it." Like a day later, I had a pamphlet in my letterbox saying all the reasons to trust.
From her?
I'm 100% convinced it was her. So, so you're constantly pressured, and everybody knew, mate. I wasn't quiet about not getting it. I was telling everyone, "Don't get it, don't get it, don't get it." These are the things that are happening in the States, and because they weren't telling anything in the media, and so people think you're a conspiracy nut, which I probably am, but.
We all are.
Yeah.
It's not conspiracy anymore, though.
No, it's not conspiracy.
Fact nut.
I was telling someone the other day, I love the little meme that's going around. Has anybody got any conspiracy theories? Because mine have all come true or something like that.
I've seen several different ones like that.
Similar to that. Yeah, every time I see them, I laugh.
But, bro, we've got no idea really up here. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, I didn't wear a mask the whole time. And, like, you get weird looks and stuff, but we still had quite a bit of freedom. Victoria, like my cousins and stuff down there, the stuff that actually happened there, we can gloss over it. But but it was actually like full on, like what you're explaining, you were going through was full on. And I just want to know, what was like, if it's okay, like, man, what was your like prayer life and like what was happening? Like, where was God in that?
Well, that's like, you're just like, what the hang is happening? Like, what is, and like, we were all over the shop. Man, I was like, yeah, it was close to, breakdown. Yeah, 100%. And I'd already been through some anxiety stuff and not depression, but, I go and see the doctor. I'm feeling like I can't sleep. I can't do this because we're running the business and this was happening. And he'd go, oh, here's some sleeping tablets, which isn't good. But anyway, so, yeah, he said, like, here, take this test. And so do you feel like this? Do you feel like that? And, yeah, anxious and all that.
Tick all of it, yeah.
Yeah, you can tick it. And they go, oh, you're bordering on depression.
Yeah, you're depressed.
Which is that line, that scale. But it just yeah. So, yeah, I've been on those tablets and I got off them and then I knew I didn't need the tablets. Got onto good old melatonin and that was a heap better. But, yeah, it was just like, it is pretty anxious. It was like, it's pretty full on. So I've spoken to Dan about your cousins and when I spoke to Dan, he was like,
brother.
Yeah, when man. He was talking about your cousin, he was like, you're telling me exactly the same thing because he's building, yeah.
Yeah, same, essentially the same thing, maintenance and
yes, but Melbourne had a lot harder than we did. But in the end, if you didn't get the jab, you couldn't work. And so, yeah, I had a few people that were like, mate, we don't care, just come and do the work. And so, yeah, but you've gone from this much down to this much. And then it was just like, yeah, you feel isolated because church were doing the same thing. Mate, I'll tell you what, I am so cranky with some of the churches down there, the way they handled it. They weren't letting unjabbed people in at all. They were doing 2 separate services.
Circuses.
Circuses, yeah.
Probably suits it.
Well, it depends on
attending.
It depends on the monkeys up the front, doesn't it?
Oh, man.
So there's a lot of stuff that I'm still angry about with that kind of stuff because there were friends that we'd gotten out of that. We weren't going to church when the second lot of COVID stuff came around, and we were listening to Hillsong online during the first lot, and then second lot I still think we were still doing a bit of Hillsong online. So that Hillsong was good. Brian was great. And the other team stuff that he had going through. So, I still really like the Hillsong stuff. I know a lot of people have turned on Brian, but he was there giving out a good message, helping. So, yeah, the online stuff was good. And they were really the only ones that were doing online back then. So that was really good. But, yeah, some of the friends that were in church that I found out of, some of them only recently, they were basically, if you weren't jabbed, you couldn't go to church, and they just no talk about it. They just deleted you from all of the service. So they were serving, and so just cut them all off. There's going to be either, like, for me, if you did that to people as a pastor,
so wild.
God, like, how's God going to handle that? And I was like, because I know how I'd handle it, and it's just be like, so it's going to be.
There's some consequences for some actions. I heard there was a church on the Gold Coast that was welcoming people if they had COVID to come and get healed.
Yeah, I was like, it's totally
how
opposite.
Wild is that?
It's totally opposite. It's like
it is like, well, but I think the pressure on people, and not the leaders of our I don't know what I'm saying. I think, like, everything, you can understand why people did certain things, but it is at the end of the day, it's like flipping wild. It's like, how did we come to those conclusions. And then now it's just all, where's the biggest rug we can find, and we'll just sweep it all under the rug, get back to normal.
Yeah, it's like a lot of people are trying to sweep it under. A lot of, there was some stuff that I wasn't invited to, which was pretty hard because we weren't jabbed, and it was at that period of, it must have been 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago, just before we came up and saw Rochelle. I visited because so basically at the end of the first COVID, first COVID, I did okay. We got back up and running and kept going, and then it was still mentally draining because you're still exhausted. But the second one came. That was,
how big was the window from the first to the second?
Oh, might have been 6 months maybe when they started opening. But then there was heaps of work, and it was just nuts. It was mental.
That's like up here when it all wrapped up. It's only just slowed back down now.
Yeah.
So what brought you guys up here?
Yeah. So Bron used to serve with Marshall and Rochelle when she was at Life, when they were at Life.
Which is like how many years ago?
Yeah, it's over 20 years ago now.
Far out.
So Bron was like 16. No, she must have been 17.
So was she mutual friends with Rochelle on like social media or something?
Yeah.
So she would have seen.
Oh yeah.
You know, some things in common getting posted and shared.
So yeah. We knew we were on the same page from early on that in that respect. Bron and I had been in contact with Marshall and Rochelle a couple of times, just in regards to stuff that we were troubles or just conversations we were having down there to get another set of ears on it.
Yeah, nice. Another opinion.
So there's been that contact over a few years. But anyway, so at the end of when I couldn't work, I was like, I just have to get out of here because everybody knows. Everybody knows. All the holes, everybody knew that I could think of. And that's what it felt like. It was like this at one stage, it felt like we're waiting for someone to come around the corner and grab you and give you the jab, because that's what it was like. That's what it felt like. And that, obviously the enemy's just trying to get in your head and make you feel that fear to go and get it. But it was pretty full on. There were times when we were like, we're just waiting. And I had the kid, we had go bags. Man, that's how mental that it got to me, that I was like, okay, guys, if this happens, just grab a bag, get this stuff in, and we're out of here.
That's wild.
That's what it felt like. That was probably a little bit out of skew, but the people that were down then around us, all, like I said, all knew, and we're just waiting for someone.
Well, there was like talk about forcing people.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because of the great danger. And I'm just so surprised that you and I are sitting here alive without being jabbed, because it was so dangerous.
Oh, so dangerous, just like the new one that's about to come out and get everyone.
Bless them, Lord. Bless them. Man, we lost more kids to suicide than we did to flipping.
Oh, mate, the suicide rate in Ballarat is the worst in the state. Yeah. Just because Ballarat's got this it's got a heaviness over it. That's already what it feels like. Yeah. And it's the weather. It's just the drizzly, mucky, depressing weather. And so Ballarat was
pretty depressing.
Pretty depressing in the first place. Yeah. So there's plenty of, I don't know what the stats were down there.
Well, that's what's talking to my cousins about their kids' friends and what their kids went through mentally during it was just like, man, I was really, I don't know if I can say this. We're here anyway. We can edit this out if we need to. I don't know how someone wasn't assassinated, you know, it was, people would have been, if I had lost a kid, there were people that lost their kids because of not because of COVID, because of the lockdowns.
The lockdowns were so bad in Melbourne, people were just going silly. They were there were some good doctors around, and they were if you had family, dad was in Stall or something, we had a friend that was in a lockdown area, and they were able to go and visit dad because the doctor had written a script, because you weren't literally allowed to leave that 10K radius. And I got pulled over by the cops a couple of times. and said, "Where are you going? Where's your paperwork?" Because I was in Geelong doing a job.
Where are you going? Where's your paperwork? Flip.
Yeah. And so people say, "Oh, you can't compare it to this. You can't compare it to that." Of course we can. We can. It wasn't as bad, but it like the same emotional type war games.
Yeah, yeah.
The CIA war games, conspiracy stuff that you want to talk about that people don't want to talk about. Like all of this stuff that the CIA and the FBI, all of their games that they play. All these movies, this is one thing I've always said. If we're watching a Bron movie and I'm like, that's probably happened. We're watching a movie. This is like 10 years ago.
Oh, it's just all government control.
Government control, the CIA, and this is like Jason Bourne type stuff. You're watching and you're going, I'm sure they've done this before. And you're like, and people just think it's a movie.
We've got no idea.
We've got no idea how deep those guys have gone.
Our elected officials are working for the people.
I've just finished the second season of Reacher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, that was so good. Anyway.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I mean.
But, yeah, so that's like.
It's too deep for. So, anyway, back to you met, you're back in contact with Marshall loosely over the years anyway, and then you reach out.
We're like, where are we going? I've got to go. I can't be down here for Christmas because it was the end of November that they said you had to have it.
2021?
Yeah. So, end of November, you had to have the jab and you couldn't work, or maybe it was October, and then so we're working out what we're doing.
So that was literally you couldn't work anywhere or do anything without the jab?
Yeah, and there's still a few places that I could get away with it, but...
Could you get Centrelink? You still could get Centrelink, eh?
Well, we weren't getting Centrelink anyway.
No, but I just feel like they wanted people on the dole almost.
Oh, yeah.
Not that that's going to pay your mortgage, but...
my employees could get it the second time round. The first time round, I got money to pay them. And then, so the second time, if they weren't working, I had to fill out the pay slip and say that they could then present that on their app and get the other payment. They were better off some weeks
not working.
No, working than they were if they were working, working a part week than if they were working.
Yeah, okay.
What I should have done to what I did was probably two different things. I should have just said, nah, looked after me, because they can get the $850 from the government every week.
Yeah, okay.
I should have just done all the jobs rather than just try and keep them going. Yeah. Because I was trying to get them back to work. But anyway, looking back, I would have done things a lot different.
All right, so
hindsight's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. But you're here. You probably wouldn't have been here either. So
yeah. So at that time, we then like, where are we going? We've got to move. We can't stay here. We're going to sell the house. So we're already in the process of subdividing a block, all that kind of stuff. So we're just like, we just need to get away. Need to have a break. And so we went and stayed with some friends just near Newcastle. And
oh, nice! You go up to Newcastle.
Sorry?
You could get up to Newcastle easy?
Oh, well, then it was fine because the COVID stuff was out. The jab thing had come in. Everything was open again.
Ah, okay. Yeah. That's right. Borders and stuff were open, but you were restricted.
Yep. So
depending on your status.
We bought a camper and came up. We stayed in the camper. Bron and I stayed in the camper. The boys stayed in a tent. So Jordan and Noah. Shanae was still able to work. With Macca's, she did well. She was able to work.
She's a clever cookie.
Well, they didn't want to lose her, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, anyway. But she
cool.
Didn't have to, so that was good.
That was a little bit like me, and I was working at retirement villages.
Yeah. So it was just like she played the game. I wasn't playing the game.
Yeah.
So we came up and stayed with them for a bit and stayed with another friend for a couple of weeks. And then I said to Bron, we need to work out where we're going because this is going to happen again.
Are you crying out to God at this point? Like flipping make a way, like help, like our lives are being turned upside down.
Yeah, and we're like, there's no local church that was on the same page.
So was that almost like was the feeling almost like God wasn't there? Because if there's no church that's even supporting you, the ones representing God,
Yeah.
and all the government and everything we know is getting turned upside down, like where was God?
Yeah, we knew he was there, and it was just like, we don't know why, but there's obviously a reason for it. You just keep going, and it's like even after what's happened at Christmas time, you're just like, just keep going, just got to keep going. And then Friday we get a thing saying that they're not going to renew the lease because they need to fix the stuff on their house. So
Is Friday gone?
Yeah, so we need to be out by the 22nd of Feb. And so
praise the Lord.
It's just like one thing after another.
Oh man!
And what is it? What is it? You can't count these trials.
Count it all joy.
It was joy.
You face
I was just like, great,
times.
just another one. And I was like, I've been through enough already. Do I have to go through another one?
Bro, where's the silver? Like, where's the? Have we heard yet the voice of God at some point say or is it just this conviction from when you're a kid where you know he's good regardless of what happens?
Yeah, I know. I always sort of felt that, but there's been plenty of like times along the way that you go, you have an encounter, and you go, oh, this is real, and then. Like for me, worship is probably the biggest way that I connect.
It's awesome.
And so if I don't do it, you can tell. Like you just go, oh yeah. And then so I was listening to Jensen before. He was talking about so from Adam and Eve, seventh generation, one of the males. Was like one of these. There's three brothers. One's into stock, one's into iron, and then the other one created all of the wind instruments, like the flute and the lyre. And then so he's talking about that, and then he goes into you need to create your own worship, because he was talking about this guy there was no worship, there was no flutes. This guy is created worship out of nothing, and he was like, you have to find your own worship,
your form,
your own worship in the crap, in the hard times.
Bro,
and there's like,
I get it.
I was like, I don't do that enough. And the worship is the way I connect.
Oh, and I mean, everything we do is an act of worship towards God. But I get what you're saying. That's
the connection. So that, look, I always know he's been there. Like you got that. I've had that sense.
I like it. I really like it because it's actually, the way we think, our Western way of thinking is pretty far from the Jewish way of thinking. And we're all about like emotion and feeling and so I know I like it. Like I was pressing on it because I'm like, what are you holding on to? But I like that you're just holding on to just knowing.
Well, this is knowing, and that's I suppose it's a faith thing. And since that COVID, like there's been plenty of other stuff before the COVID stuff where you get pushed a bit and pushed and
squeezed and
and then. The COVID stuff, when that all came in, we were like, right, we need to get out of the state. We're getting everything ready to sell when we come back. We need to go and find where we're going. And we knew Northern Rivers. That was Northern Rivers. They're the people.
Northern Rivers sounds good.
They're our people. So we moved. We came up and stayed at Newcastle and had a bit of a break with some friends, and then Noah, Bron, and I came up and
to the land of milk and honey,
to the land of milk and honey. So we went to Northern Rivers, and it was like the knowing, the feel. Like there's a lot of knowing stuff and feeling that like I will sort of take a job on, for example, if I'm having a good feel from the customer, because I'm like, I've been like, you do a job and then it just turns to crap, or the customer is difficult. And you're going, why did I do this? I knew I shouldn't have taken this job. Anyway,
I know that feeling, eh?
Yeah. So it's a knowing thing. Anyway, so we went and visited Lismore or somewhere, and we're like, nah, this isn't our town. As soon as I walked into Macca's, this was after all of the COVID stuff. There was the COVID lady at the door.
COVID safe.
She was there. She's saying, what suburb are you from? She was wearing a mask and all. And this was like November or December, and we're like, what the heck? And so they're still doing all that stuff. And this is New South Wales. So anyway, I think Bron had touched base with Rochelle or something and gone, yeah, it's not like that up here. It's not. Anyway, we came and went to Burleigh. That was the first place we stopped after because like Bron had been and she wanted a side bowl from Oakberry or whatever.
Oh, let's go. Yeah.
So we went down there and we grabbed that. And I could not believe that little stretch of street, there was maybe one person wearing a mask. And this was when everybody was still wearing masks.
Yeah, we were different up here. People, I don't know what it was. People up here just sort of knew. I don't know. And there's a lot of people from Victoria and stuff here. Like there's holiday makers here, but it was just like, no. Like even you'd walk into, even at the height of it when everyone was wearing masks and stuff, you'd walk in and someone's like, mask? Like put your mask on to come in the shops, and it's like, no, thank you. And then they're like, oh. And no, I'm not. So anyway.
Yeah, so we came up, touch base with Rochelle, caught up with her, and she said, it's not like that up here. And so we were
Praise
like,
the Lord.
we need to do this for us and the kids.
Yeah, good.
So we said, yeah, well, Gold Coast. Well, and we had chapel. So chapel was the main reason that we moved up here.
What was the first Sunday like coming in amongst the family, amongst the people?
Yeah, it was good. It's a really good feel. I think we all went up front for prayer that time and the time after that, and
time after that, man, I just cried in my seat for a bit. And,
so it was. That was really. It was just refreshing, and that we knew what Marshall and Rochelle were on the same page as us.
Oh man, it must have been like
it is. It's like everybody else down there. It was like a handful of people that we knew that were the same as us. And it's just like, no, I can't do this. We need to move. We'd already decided we were going to sell and move anyway, but it was like, okay, during COVID, we know what's happening in Victoria. It's going to happen again.
Yeah, we don't want to stick around for that.
Yeah. So.
Man, well, I'm glad you guys came up, and it's pretty special, especially the relationship with Marsh and Rochelle is awesome. That's decades. But maybe what you've been through is pretty hectic, and I like what you cling to and about the knowing. Can you just encourage people, testify for some people as we wrap up, like that are going through stuff, like especially now with the storms. Apparently there's another cyclone coming this week. It's like hectic, bringing like rain. I was listening this morning and they're like, man, the water, everything's so wet. This is not good. So anyway, I don't know if we're going to have more things that, we need to get through. What can you share with our community? Give some hope, testify the goodness of God,
It's just the good old, just keep on keeping on. Like, just like, we can just fall to pieces and just, but there's that knowing that, hey, I've got it better than somebody else. It's like Anne Frank and thanking for the fleas. So be thankful that the guards didn't come in because of the fleas. Well, you find something to be thankful for, I suppose. Yeah, well, Malachi is awesome. It's great having because you can just hand them back. And Like, yeah, he's starting to smile. So, you know, there's all those little things that you look at that
blessings.
Yeah, you just got to. I think we just got to find those little things, because there wasn't many during COVID in Victoria for us. That was pretty tough. And then, I think we just need to worship. Like, worship's probably the key. The worship at I call it North at Pimpama is pretty cool.
Narang's better, but that's all right. Let's just
that's okay. That's all right. You can have Narang.
Just
like,
kidding.
Like Sunday and every Sunday that we've been there, that there's the wind coming through as well, and
I've heard that. It's beautiful.
It's just amazing. It's
Doors
just like a great
wide.
place, and I think there's something like Marshall said. I think, or somebody said when they first looking at that area, is like, God's got their hand on that, and like that building is like, oh, that's special.
Yeah, come on. There's a lot of history there as well. It's been around that's one of the oldest places on the Gold Coast, oldest buildings.
It's
oldest schools.
It's amazing that spot and the worship on Sunday, but yeah, I think we just need to press in and push harder and keep worship. Like, it's
good.
It's like.
So good.
It's the same old keep on keeping on. Like, I've been, like I said, bordering on depression, but anxiety, depression, and like it is quite, well, probably did have depression, because I basically had a breakdown at the end of like the COVID thing when we came up. But yeah, you just have to keep pushing. Like, it's just, what hope can I give people for this rain?
No,
I think it's just little things. It's just the little things.
That's what I was going to say.
It's like, give thanks in all things. Like,
come on.
But yeah, I think we just need to find every day something, mate. This weather at the minute is crap. But
we won't go into that.
I love the fact. I love the fact that I can get a tan there.
Yeah.
And that I can go outside and at least it's sunny and it's hot. Like, I love being outside using my hands. So I like
that. I like finishing on that. The little things because there actually is, Dan shared yesterday, man, even if you're not getting anything that you want, you're sick, whatever, you're dying, man, you're still blessed by God. There is little things everywhere. And then, man, just worship him in all things. So
the other thing that comes to mind is, "O death, where is your sting? Our resurrected King has overcome." Like, man,
let's finish on that.
That part of the song, it's just like, because it's coming. It's still every time I hear that part of the song, it's still. My neck still goes stupid, and you just get that tingle, like, because that's it, man. It's like he's overcome. He's like, everything's done, everything's dusted, and God knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
Beginning and the end.
Yeah, and he's always come through for us at the 11th hour. Even this house that we're renting now. Like, he always come through. Like, there's so many things here and there coming up, and like 11th hour, he loves doing stuff. He loves right at the very end, just to not annoy us, but just to push us.
Challenge your faith.
Yeah,
that's awesome, bro. That's so good. Well, thank you for your time.
No worries.
I appreciate you coming on. You got a big day of work ahead of you in this heat. And, man, you're a blessing for our community, and this Testify is good, bro. It's very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
No worries.